You should
All
be
right.
good.
What is up? We are back with our NFC West predictions for this 2026 NFL season. And I'm not going to lie, this could be the best division to talk about. Um, it's definitely the most interesting, in my opinion, maybe besides the North, which we'll get. But this is by far the most interesting division so far that we're going to talk about. So let's get into it here. And first, we might as well start with the Arizona Cardinals. The
Get them out of the
Cardinals
way.
are a very interesting team. They're a very fun team to talk about, and all the wrong reasons. They're absolutely horrible. They have no talent on their team. They're not going to have talent next year. This Cardinals team is legitimately playing for 0-17,
Yeah,
and I
that's
mean
a
that's
that's a
honestly
very real thing. It's a very
that's
real thing
honestly
too.
a going to be a fun topic because this could be the first 0-17 team in NFL history, and it could be the first 0-17 NFL or first 0-17 team in maybe 50 years, 60 years. Like we don't know when this opportunity could happen, and we don't know
Yeah.
if it'll happen ever again. So I mean, I look at this Cardinals team and it's just dog crap. I mean, every single player sucks on this team. The only star player on this team is Buda Baker, and he's what, 33, 34 years
He's
old.
old. He's old.
He's an old man. I mean, this Cardinals team going into the season is gonna be, their main goal is just gonna be to get a win. I mean, they don't have anything else going for them. Like, I don't have anything to say on Carson Beck. I don't have anything to say on Jacoby Brissett. They both aren't gonna be on the team next year, more than likely. Well, they will, but they're not gonna be starting next year unless Carson Beck is impresses us and is just like a Jalen Hurts type player, just a player that absolutely exceeds everybody's expectations. But I think the main goal for the Cardinals here is to see if you have any talent on your roster. Literally any. If you can find a good player, great. If Jeremiah Love can get 1,000 rushing yards, great. If Trey McBride can maintain tight end one status both in fantasy, both in regular football, I think that'll be great. And if Marvin Harrison can actually be at least somewhat worth his pick, and if he can at least be somewhat as good as his dad, because I don't think I've seen a worse father son duo than Marvin Harrison Sr. and Marvin Harrison Jr. Um,
Is it worse
I
than
mean,
Bronny?
I think it is. I legitimately think it is. It's that bad.
So far, yeah. So far, I haven't been good. So far,
Like
it hasn't
Marvin
been good.
Harrison Jr. can't catch a ball, and we're in training camp. Well, I don't think
Yeah,
he's going to be able to catch a
yeah.
ball in the NFL. If he can't catch one against the Cardinals defense in training camp. So this Cardinals team is an embarrassment to the rest of the NFL. It's an embarrassment towards Roger Goodell. And I think, man, you might as well put the Ohio State Buckeyes or the Georgia Bulldogs, and they'll have a more competitive season than the Cardinals this year.
Wow. Yeah, I
I will.
mean,
I generally think the Buckeyes would have a better season than the Cardinals this year, which is ridiculous to say, but I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I look at this roster. The really only good thing I see is Trey McBride on the offense, and he's just got to stay healthy because sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't.
Yeah,
And then we still got a lot of issues with the quarterback. Freaking Jacoby Brissett,
he's
freaking
not bad.
holding out for an extension though. Like Jacoby
Yeah, it's
Brissett,
pathetic.
like you're Jacoby Brissett, bro. You're not gonna get that kind of money.
You're lucky
And
to
he
be a
did get
starting
some money,
quarterback.
and he's not that good. I mean, he's fine. He's a good back. Don't get me wrong, but he shouldn't be getting paid that much. Now, I will say, Carson Beck did play very well in a Hall of Fame game last week. I know that doesn't really mean anything for preseason, but being like what, fifth round? I don't even know what round he went in. It was like the fourth or the fifth round, something like that. He did pretty good. Um, and I think I'm pretty confident he's probably going to start a game this year because of how bad this team can be.
Yeah,
To me, it's giving same vibes as the Raiders from last season, where they're just going to have a whole frick ton of quarterbacks going out there and play towards the end of the year, just trying to figure something out to see if anyone's worth anything. And then, like you said, Jeremiah Love, we'll see what he can do with this team, which is not going to be any good. Marvin Harrison Jr., very disappointing so far. Hopefully he picks it up because I'm rooting for for Marvin Harrison Jr. But yeah, like I know it's a funny thing to joke about, like, oh yeah, the Cardinals are gonna be so bad they're gonna go 1-17. No, they actually genuinely might. They genuinely might go 1-17. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, this team is
Yeah.
that bad on paper, and to me, the only game I can see on their schedule for them to maybe win is a road game against the Jets, and the Jets have improved their defense from last season. So, and the offense doesn't look like anything's going to produce in there. I don't know how many they're going to probably put up 8 points per game. Freaking nothing. They're not going to do anything on the offense, especially in this division too. I don't see them winning a division game this year
Yeah,
against
absolutely
anyone.
not.
They're not
Losing by
going to win
40
any
points
division game.
each game.
They're going to
Each
lose
game. It's not even
double
close.
digits at least in most of them. The
Yeah.
closest thing I can see is maybe the 49ers or maybe the Rams end the year if the Rams take out all their starters. That's the only reason why I could see it
Yeah.
potentially a close game. I don't really see anything. I'm just hating on the Cardinals, but like this team is genuinely that bad, and they like you said, they're honestly this is kind of a disgraceful lineup. Like if you're the GM of this team, my word, you should be fired. Like you have to do, you really have to try to make a team this bad. Now I don't know if he's doing that on purpose to try to get the number one pick in Trinidad or something next year, or Art Manning, something like that. But to me, this Cardinals team will more than likely have the number one pick unless the Dolphins do something terrible, which they're going to be terrible as well. But Chad says the Cardinals have a deep quarterback room. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. They have a lot
Full
of
of garbage quarterbacks. I mean, it's deep.
Yeah, they have a lot of quarterbacks. But they're not any good. So, yeah, like you said, this team is not impressive. It's not going to be good. Yeah,
I mean, that's like saying the Steelers have a ton of Super Bowls, bro. Like, yeah, the Steelers have a ton of Super Bowls, but they suck now. Like,
Jacoby Brissett, yeah, he had some good years with New England and stuff like that when Brady was suspended and whatever. But
yeah,
that was like almost 10 years ago. So
yeah,
this team's terrible.
Yeah.
I think
all right.
we just talked about the Cardinals and how terrible they were for 8 minutes. I think that's the longest. This is the longest team we've talked about.
Well, we got 3 really good teams coming up.
Yeah, we got 3 good teams coming up.
The next team we are going to talk about is the 49ers. Now, I'm not going to lie, I really like the 49ers. There's 3 teams that I actually glaze. One of them is the 49ers, but the other 2 are the Texans and the Falcons. I don't know why, but for some reason I glazed those 3 teams. And I didn't glaze the 49ers much last year because there wasn't much to glaze about their roster because it was completely injured. It was in all of them were in a hospital by week 6. But I mean, this year they look healthy and they look brand new, man. Niners?
Are you serious about them being healthy?
They're healthy right now.
No, they're not. They had
what?
I think every player on their offense has had to sit out a day or 2 of training camp except for Brock Purdy because of injury.
Okay, but around this time last season, we had 2 or 3 season-ending injuries. Nobody's at season-ending yet.
Do you know when Kittle's coming back?
Frick, I don't know.
All I know is that Bosa got hurt today.
Bosa got hurt today? Well, maybe.
Let us know what he did. We don't know.
Maybe I'll take that
right now.
I'll take that statement back. But for now, the 49ers don't have anybody that's out for the season. So they are one step in the right direction. But,
yeah, Ricky Pearsall is also out for the year this year as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But, I mean, the dude...
Appreciate the tips, chat. We appreciate it.
I mean, this is like his... I don't even know how many games Ricky Pearsall's played, but it should be at least 2 to 3 times more than what he should have. So, anyways, the Niners going in this year should be really good on paper. But as we know for the Niners, health is going to be the biggest thing. because it has been the biggest thing for the past 5 years. And I think their strength and conditioning coach is still on the roster. So that's that. But I mean, you look at this Niners team, and like I said, on paper, it's pretty loaded. Brock Purdy is a pretty good quarterback. Christian McCaffrey is a top 3 running back in football. He's my 3rd best running back in football. And then, I mean, you have a bunch of wide receivers who aren't gonna be a superstar, but you have a ton of solid ones. I mean, Christian Kirk did good with the Jags last year. Mike Evans did fine with the Bucks. Demarcus Robinson's very underrated. I like him a lot. And Debo Samuel is back and hopefully skinnier too. So
Probably not.
And we can't forget about the offensive line. This offensive line's pretty good. But I mean, the key to their season is going to be their defense, in my opinion, because their defense is basically what they're known for. It's basically their identity. It's been their identity for ever since they've joined the league, and all their titles were strictly defense first, in my opinion. So I think this year is going to be no different. Nick Bosa has got to have a decent season. He hasn't had a good season in like 5 years. Michael Williams has got to be worth the draft pick. Yeah, he was drafted last year and he had a season-ending injury, so he's got to do something. And then besides those two, man, you got to have Fred. You got to have a healthy Fred Warner. I think that he will change this team completely if he's on the field. So overall, if the defense can just be well coached, if the defense can be the better part of this Niners team and the offense not having to put up a lot of points, I think this Niners team could compete in the NFC and be one of the premier teams in the NFC.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this team, like you said on paper, this is a really good team. But the injuries are still a really big question for me. Obviously, we know last year Kyle Shanahan did a fantastic job of leading this team to the playoffs with like half their guys, and Mac Jones starting half their games. They made the playoffs, and then they made the divisional, which is really good. They went on the road, beat a really tough Philly defense. So prop to them for that. Now, I mean, you gotta move their practice facility away from that freaking electrical substation because that's gonna probably cause some issues. Now, I'm sure it's gonna keep causing some issues. I'm looking at this roster right now. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got 11 first and second stringers that have a Q or an O next to their name. That's not what you want to see in middle August. That's just not good. Mike Evans, obviously, he was hurt most of last year. Who knows what we're going to get with him this year? He's playing in San Francisco now. George Kittle, we don't know when he's coming back. Christian Kirk had some really good moments there with Houston last year, and then Debo Samuel was just eating a lot in Washington last year. And Christian McCaffrey always seems to go every other year. He's healthy or he's not. You never know. So there's still a lot of question marks for me with San Francisco. I do think that this team can easily make the playoffs because of their coaching. They have one of the best coaching staffs in football, don't get me wrong. And I think that's enough to get them to the playoffs. Now, if everyone's healthy and no one gets hurt and Kittle comes back good to go, this team can contend. I absolutely believe that. But it's the San Francisco 49ers. They still practice next to the electrical substation. They're going to get hurt. And then we saw what happened in the division. They got absolutely rocked by LA. So, I don't know. To me, it's giving the same vibes as last year. But, we'll obviously have to wait and see if the injuries pile up.
Yeah. All right, next up, we have the LA Rams. Now, I mean, there's really not much to say about the Rams. They don't have a single hole on their roster. And all the hype is pretty much warranted with this team. Yeah, everybody knows this team is probably going to contend for a Super Bowl, so I don't got much to say on that other than if you were to draft somebody else than Ty Simpson, you probably would have one of the best defenses of all time, because I'm assuming you would draft a player for the defense, but especially now that Aaron Donald might come back. But and if Aaron Donald does come back, I think this might be one of the best defenses we'll see in the past 10 years. So, I mean, this Rams team really doesn't have a big takeaway other than it's Super Bowl or bust for the Rams, in my opinion. I mean, top to bottom, your only thing that is kind of iffy, and that's kind of iffy, is your run defense. And I don't know about Puna Ford, but I don't know much about him, but he's the only player that I don't know will be able to hold his own on the Rams defensive line. I think Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, and Nate Landman will certainly be able to do that job, and Myles Garrett. But I think if they get Aaron Donald, like, this defense is nearly flawless, except for this, you could argue the secondary. But I don't know about Jalen Watson. It's kind of tough to play with a different team as a cornerback. I don't know about. I mean, Trent McDuffie. I don't know if he's worth what they gave up for him. If he's worth like 2 first-round picks and maybe a first, I don't know. But for the most part, if this team doesn't lose or doesn't win a Super Bowl, it's a disappointment for the Rams, and I think there'll be changes made regardless if they win or lose a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I mean, you put it perfectly. This is Super Bowl or bust for the Rams. I mean, there's no question about it. You went out, you got the best defensive player in football. You still have the reigning MVP. I mean, I don't know what else the
Yeah,
Rams can do. This isn't. Is Aaron Donald going to come back? He's going to come back. They're just waiting for the right time to announce it. He's going to come back. This defense is going to be insane. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be good. Whether they get Donald or Vita Vea, which I
Exactly.
think they
Yeah.
might be able to get Vita Vea. We'll
Potentially.
see on
I
that
mean,
though.
we saw the Rams GM saying F them picks. He didn't care about their draft picks. He wants to win right now. Which, I mean, you have Matt Stafford, who's probably going to retire in 2 years, more than likely. So you got to
Yeah,
win now, and then you're gonna have to develop Ty Simpson if you really think he's the guy. I don't think he's that guy right now. But I mean, this team is really really good on paper. Jonah, I know you said when we did AFC West, the Broncos were your early season pick for the Super Bowl champions. The Rams are mine. I know it's boring, but I mean, to me, this is just too good of a team on paper to be like, nah, I think someone else can win. Now, I know they're in a good, the NFC is really, really good. I know they're going to have to play against Seattle twice, San Francisco twice. You're probably going to have to go up against Detroit or Chicago again in the playoffs. But I really like this Rams team a lot, and
yeah,
they're my early Super Bowl pick.
yeah. All right. Last but not least, we are gonna end this segment with the champs. It's only right. We got the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this could be the most interesting team, because I could see this team winning 14. I don't know if I could see them win 15, but I could see them winning 14 games. But I could also see them maybe having a losing record at 8-9. Now, I don't think they'll be 8-9, but I think that could be their floor, if I'm being honest. So Seattle obviously didn't get better. Usually teams don't get better after they win a Super Bowl. They only get worse. And I'm sorry, all Seahawks fans, but your team got worse. It is what it is. But you got the Super Bowl from it, so that's good. They did lose Boy Mafe. They did lose. I'm trying to think. They lost a lot of guys on defense. They did. I'm trying to think. They lost a secondary player from their secondary, but I mean, for the most part, you still have Leonard Williams. You still have Byron Murphy. You still have Ernest Jones, I think. You still have Tyrese Knight. And you still have Nicky Minwari, who's a very good safety. He's not better than Xavier Watts, but I mean, the dude could have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. So the Seahawks defense is going to be interesting. I think it'll be the stronger part of this team once again. It's not really a shocker that their defense is going to be better than their offense, but I do think their offense could be a concern without Clint Kubiak, which I mean, I think was one of the biggest reasons why they won a Super Bowl is because of him. Not in the Super Bowl. They didn't win the Super Bowl because of their offense. It was their defense that won them the Super Bowl. But Kobe Bryant's out. Yes, yes. That's who I was thinking of, who they lost. He's decent, but Boy Mafe, and they lost what linebacker? I'm trying to think. They lost a couple of guys, but anyways, Rashid Shaheen is going to be a monster this year for Seahawks. I really liked him at the deadline. He's going to be 800. He's going to get 800 yards wide receiving or receiving this year. JSN is good, but I don't know if he's top 5 wide receiver good. He's got to have another season like that to prove himself. And the main concern of Seattle is their running game. I don't like Zach Charbonnet. He's not a running back one. I don't like Jadidion Price for being selected in the first round. I don't know, or I don't know
Jadarian?
how Jadarian. So I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
No, that was funny. That was funny. You're good.
that was pretty funny. But
I was
anyways,
just thinking about Gideon when you said that.
yeah. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the Seattle run game has to figure itself out. Shoot, if Emmanuel Wilson can get something done, that would be great. But the Seahawks team is going to go as far as the run game takes them. I mean, if they can't run the ball, they're not going to be able to get JS on the ball consistently. And so, yeah, that's that. And I'm not even worried about Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold has proven himself twice now. So, hot take, will be better than K9 ever had. Oof,
Well, I mean, yeah, you Price having a better year as a rookie than K9. I mean, can you think of any great things that Kenneth Walker's done in his career other than the Super Bowl? Like, can you actually think of one?
think of one Kenneth Walker has done besides the Super Bowl. No, I really can't.
No,
Kenneth Walker's pretty
you
overrated.
can't. You can't.
He's pretty overrated. No,
You can't.
no.
He is overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong. At Super Bowl, he played great. But he only played great because Zach Charbonnet was out. So that's it. That's literally why he won, and because the Patriots
And
defense,
because Gray Zabel and Charles Cross are dogs, so on
yeah,
the offensive
and
line.
because the Patriots had JSN on box that entire game. So
okay.
he did not have that many receiving yards. Like I'm agreeing with you in saying I don't know if he's top 5, but yes, he does have to do good again this year and have a really great season.
Yeah, because the wide receiver too, I think is good, but it's a question mark. Cooper Kupp's washed. Let's get Cooper Kupp off the roster. You don't need him.
Really didn't do all that much last year.
AJ Barner is a better receiving threat than Cooper Kupp is. Let's be real.
Yeah. Right now, not all the time, but right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, when you win a Super Bowl, you're gonna get worse most of the time. They did. They lost their Super Bowl MVP like 2 weeks later, which is funny. Yeah, I mean the defense is still going to be good. Yeah, losing Kubiak as your offensive coordinator is huge. It's huge for them.
Yeah.
Because now you got to figure out a new system. Sam Darnold, he led the league in turnovers last year, and luckily, the rest of the offense was that good they could catch back up and the defense could stop them. So, I mean, if he's that again, I don't really know. Now, I'm not here to hit on Sam Darnold, okay? Because he won the Super Bowl. He proved everybody wrong. Great job. I don't know if that success is going to happen again with this team because of all the pieces that they lost in free agency. So I expect Seattle to be a good team again this year. I think they're going to be a playoff team for sure.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if they're going to have the same level of dominance as they did to end off the season last year.
Yep. All right. Since we are on the Seahawks, we're going to start with their free agency and their draft first because, I mean, I'm having a good conversation. We're having a good conversation with Seahawks, so let's continue it here. In free agency, they re-signed Rashid Shaheen. Big. I mean, the dude's punt return against the 49ers basically,
best trade deadline acquisition we've seen in a long time.
I mean, in NFL, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Th-
NFL, yeah.
They got Josh Jobe. I mean, he's a good player. They got Noah Igbenogany. So they really replaced their older players with maybe a little bit younger players with a little bit less experience. They lost Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen and Boy Mafe. So their secondary is going to look completely new, um, with the exception of Nicky Manwari and Julian Love. So it's going to be interesting what the Seahawks secondary can cook up against Buka Nakua, Mike Evans, shoot, even Devontae Adams. Like, they're going to have their hands full in their division, I can tell you that. And McCaffrey too. Like, a lot of good receivers in the NFC West, besides the Cardinals, which the Cardinals suck at everything. So we are going to go to the Seahawks draft now. They obviously didn't really do a ton in the draft because they had such low picks. But I mean, let's see who they even got in the draft. I don't even know who they got. Well, let me pull up their draft analysis here. But Seattle didn't do much in the draft. I'm not going to lie. Besides drafting Price, which I think they definitely picked a little bit high for him. They got Bud Clark out of TCU. I don't know why they would do that. I guess they want to replace Kobe Bryant, but you already have Nicky Manwari. Like, you don't need to draft two high safeties in back-to-back years. Like, a safety is not worth a second-round pick and back-to-back years, in my opinion. So you got Julian Neal out of Arkansas. Fine. Got some Emmanuel Henderson out of Kansas, which is going to be a good player. I like Emmanuel Henderson. He's very underrated. He is going to probably be wide receiver 3. He could be wide receiver 3. I think he might be better than Cooper Kupp already. I think Cooper Kupp's that bad. I think he might be better than Jake Bobo, even though Jake Bobo is a fan favorite in Seattle. And I mean, I like Jake Bobo too, but for the most part, the only draft pick that's going to matter is Price in the first round. And even then, he's going to be held back by Emmanuel Wilson and Zach Charbonnet. So that's all I got for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, me just losing Kenneth Walker, your MVP guy. Definitely, I'm not saying he's like all that, but him and Charbonnet as the 1A and 1B. That I think it's going to be missed in Seattle for the run game and how they want to do things there. Yeah, they filled it with Price there. Obviously, he was running back 2 at Notre Dame. I don't know why they picked running back 2 in the first round.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he's good, don't get me wrong, but still. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything phenomenal here from Seattle. Yeah, nothing really jumps out to me, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. They're going to have their veterans step up, like Devin Witherspoon. So
Yeah.
and Leonard Williams. So if those two guys can lead the way on defense for these young players like Bud Clark and Nicky Manwari.
Yeah, and Eamon is just coming off the PUP list as well, coming
That's
off
true.
of surgery.
And DeMarcus Lawrence. I forgot about Big DeMarcus. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in the league forever. I think he's one of the most forgotten players in the NFL. But he's a good player. He did good for Seattle. So moving on, I'm gonna be done talking about the Cardinals here. I'm gonna get them over with their draft and free agency. The Cardinals in free agency decided to go after a million different running backs in free agency. One of them, which is Tyler Algier, and now they have 5 running backs in their roster who can run the ball with a terrible offensive line. So, this Cardinals free agency or this Cardinals offseason really focused on one thing, and that was get running backs. Which I don't know why you would spend all your money on that, but this is why the Cardinals are a bad football team or a poorly run football team, is because they do stupid stuff like this. They got Devin Duvernay, who's okay. They got Kendrick Bourne, Gardner Minshew, Bam Knight, another running back. They got a new kicker and punter. I mean, they got a lot of defensive tackles too because their run game was like the worst in the league. And they got Elijah Wilkinson, who was probably their best pickup in free agency. So the Cardinals did really bad in free agency. They didn't want to spend money because they know they're going to lose all 6 games in their division this year. So let's go over to their draft now. I'm not quite too sure who the Cardinals picked in the draft. Obviously, they picked Carson Beck, but
Jeremiah Love.
and Jeremiah Love, but I don't
Other
know
than
who
that,
else
I
they
don't
picked
know.
that's going to be
Other than that,
impactful.
I don't know.
Ooh, they did get Caleb Proctor out of Louisiana.
Oh
I
yeah,
like him a lot. They did get Carson Sharher out of Iowa. You probably know who that is, but
Yep.
yeah, this Cardinals draft class for having such high picks, they completely uh, have not exceeded expectations. So I give them a D in both the draft and free agency. I just do. They really did not impress me whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, looking at all of this stuff, they got rid of Kyler Murray after 8 years now, I think.
You know,
Obviously, he's the new QB1 in Minneapolis for the Vikings, so that's cool.
it's true.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I criticized Arizona's front office earlier. I'm gonna do it again. What the frick are you doing? Like
Yeah,
genuinely, like what's going through your mind? Unless you're trying to tank, then that's fine. But you got a new coach. You get Mike LaFleur. Um, so we'll see if he does any better than his brother. Um, yeah, I mean Jeremiah Love, great. He's great. I don't know if that was the right pick for them. If I'm being completely honest, at 3, they could have gone so many other places, especially after they had done all this running back signing. Uh, you know, I get it. He was still available. Probably one of the best players available, but was he the best fit for them? I don't know. So we'll find that out, I guess. But I think the Carson Beck pick though is something to look at. That could be a really underrated pick at some point in time because uh, he obviously had a really good career. Made it to the national championship last year. Almost beat Indiana on that last drive. Uh, but the thing with Carson Beck, he tends to turn the ball over uh, at game deciding points or something like that. We saw that when he was with Georgia against Alabama 2 years ago in the national championship. Uh, so I think I'm very confident he's going to play at least 1 or 2 games this year because of how bad they're going to be. Yeah, I mean this team's terrible.
yeah. All right, moving on to the Rams. We're going to talk about next in free agency in the draft. I'm not going to lie, the Rams easily had the best free agency. It's not even close. You get Myles Garrett, you get an A plus. I don't care what the price is. You're immediately in Super Bowl contention. So I'm not gonna really dock it at all. I know we talked about that, and in the long term, I don't like it. But at the moment, you want to win a Super Bowl, so I'm not gonna really dock it this year at all. Besides that, you re-signed Cam Curl, interesting player. You re-signed Tyler Higbee, which I don't know why you did that, considering you drafted a tight end in the draft. So that's a pretty stupid move for the Rams, but that's the only dumb thing they did, really. They got Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. They only lost Rob Harkenstein and Tutu Atwell. Really, this Rams defense was top 5 last year, and they're still got better, which is insane to think about. Now in the draft, there's only one pick I like, which we'll get to. I don't like Ty Simpson at all. I've stated this on the channel. This was the worst pick in the first round. Probably
Just in
probably
general, just in the
just one of the worst
general.
picks in the draft in general. Like he's just not worth a 13th overall pick. You got Max Clear out of Ohio State, which I don't know why you did that, considering you re-signed Tyler Higbee. You don't need 5 tight ends on top. I mean, especially since you have Puka and Devontae Adams. You got Keegan Trost on Missouri. And then the one pick I do like is you got KJ Daniels out of Miami. Now KJ Daniels is the most forgotten player of Miami last year. I mean, he was very good. He mentored Malachi Tony, and I don't know why nobody talks about him. He was just very good for Miami. He literally helped lead them to a championship appearance, and he pretty much him and Tony pretty much carried Carson Beck the whole entire year. I mean, I don't think Carson Beck's that good, so they made him look really good. So I think he'll easily replace Tutu Atwell, CJ Daniels, and shoot, man, this Rams team doesn't really have a hole besides the run game, which if Aaron Donald or Villa go to the Rams, I think this team doesn't have a single hole on their roster, which maybe Joshua Cardi as a kicker. I mean, even then, he's not bad. So that's literally all I got in the Rams. A on both free agency, and I'll give it a C in the draft. They did okay in the draft, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the two things that stick out to me are obviously the Myles Garrett trade, huge, fantastic, great job, but draft Ty Simpson at 13. That's disgusting, terrible. They could have picked literally anyone else.
That ain't good. That ain't good.
And I'm not gonna lie, he still would have been there if I'm pretty sure they had a second round pick. He still would have been there. Like, I didn't even know Ty Simpson was second on was next guy up to go play for quarterback right after Fernando. But holy smokes. I know this draft class was not that great other than Fernando, but sheesh, bro. Ty Simpson at 13. Holy smokes. Now don't get me wrong, he's not a bad quarterback. He's not worth 13. And he's not going to see the field for 2 or 3 more years. And then he's going to be like 26, 27? I'm pretty sure he played all 4 years at Alabama. At least he sat the bench for 3 years and actually played 1 season. So,
yeah.
I mean, to me, LA, they got to fix some of their draft stuff because I know what they're going to. I don't know what they're doing. Especially now, they won't have a draft picks for the next 3-4 years. So they better win this year or next year because they might be toast if they don't do anything. And then the Myles Garrett trade might look really stupid. And the Ty Simpson drafting will also be very stupid. So, I mean, very mixed offseason, but the Myles Garrett trade is probably one of the biggest trades in NFL we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and another thing I do want to know is that if they were to keep their picks, they would have honestly probably drafted James Pierce and Xavier Watts instead of the Falcons getting them. They would have had a realistic chance of getting both those 2 players, and those 2 players are some of the best players on defense under 25. Like those are 2 players who are going to be all pro players for a long time. So if the Rams had those 2 players, I would have certainly had that over Myles Garrett, James Pierce, and James Pierce and Jared Verse would have been a much better option than just Myles Garrett. And
definitely,
I mean, you can't think about that in hindsight because you wouldn't have known what they would have done. But I'm just saying they are being a little bit risky, maybe a little bit too risky. So next up, we'll find out. We are going to talk about the 49ers free agency and draft. And I'm not going to lie, the 49ers did a lot in free agency.
They went to
work.
re-signed.
They brought back Dre Greenlaw again. I don't know if he still has it or not, but I mean, he can't hurt the team, especially with Fred Warner having injury problems. They got Jack Jones from the Dolphins. They got Nate Hobbs from the Packers, pretty good player. They got Stephen A. Smith's favorite, Charlie Kirk from the Texans. I mean, he's a very underrated player for the Texans. They got Mike Evans from the Bucs, obviously a big signing. But you look who they lost. And they lost quite a bit. Brandon Ayuk doesn't matter. He's still on the roster. Juwan Jennings is one of the best wide receivers that's not a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. I don't know why they got rid of him. Lost Kendrick Bourne, also a very good player that they probably should have kept. They lost Jordan Elliott. They lost Yatir Gross-Matos. I think that's how you pronounce his name. They lost Thomas Morstead and Eddie Pinheiro. they really lost a lot of good veterans on this team, and basically their answer is to replace them with a couple of veterans, but for the most part, get more young on the football team. So the Niners did a B in free agency. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't do a ton. That impressed me, and that brings us to their draft. Now they probably had the most forgettable draft out of any team in the NFL. They got Dejon Stribling out of Ole Miss. I, I think they overselected that by quite a bit. I don't see a reason why he deserved to be pick 33, especially when there were so many better wide receivers on the board. They got Kalen Black out of Indiana. Not a very good pick at all, especially when you have obviously McCaffrey, but when you have Trey Sermon and Isaac Guerrero, like that's really bad pick. And really, all these day 2 and day 3 picks aren't gonna do much on this roster. So the Niners, I wouldn't say it's a D, just because the Niners always figure out a way to get their players playing time, which is what I like about them. I don't know why, but they always get equal playing time with all their players, which makes them more impactful. But I'm just gonna give this draft class a C minus. I mean, it's really not good. It's borderline bottom 5 in the NFL for bottom 5 drafts this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at to me the biggest thing for San Francisco is the complete overhaul of the wide receiver room. Being a
That's
bunch of new
true.
guys, losing Ricky Parasol for the entire year. And he was out most of the year last year too. You re-signed Debo Samuel. We'll see where he's at physically when the season starts, and you still got the Brandon Ayuk situation, which he wanted to go to Washington. Now he doesn't want to go to Washington. He wants to come back to San Francisco after trashing on San Francisco for like 2 months straight
Yeah.
on his Instagram. Which, if you haven't seen that, just go look up Brandon Ayuk on Instagram or look up Brandon Ayuk clips because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, and then Mike Evans too. Mike Evans, he's getting up there in age. I'm not gonna lie, and he was hurt all of last season. When he came back, didn't do much. So to me, I don't know. To me, the wide receiver room, it feels like it's a bunch of Paul Georges. You never know what you're gonna get. We could see Debo Samuel come back and ball out, Mike Evans ball out, or we could see both of them injured by week 4. I don't know. So that's a really interesting
Interesting.
thing. But we have seen how Kyle Shanahan works with those wide receiver threes and plays in wide receiver 1. They play pretty solid. Solid enough for them to win games. It might not be pretty, but they do it. So obviously, hopefully, this San Francisco team can stay healthy, not have to worry about any injuries this year.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to our division predictions. Now, obviously, in last place, we got the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to go over their schedule real quick because the Cardinals have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
realize that, but their schedule is insanely hard. So the Cardinals, I don't know who they play in week 1, so it's not showing up for some reason. I think they play the Titans or something in week 1 or some random team like that in week 1. But the Cardinals, that's still a loss. So the Cardinals play the Seahawks in week 2. They're getting their butts kicked. They play the Niners in week 3.
They play
loss.
the Chargers week 1.
Chargers is obviously a loss. Giants loss. Lions easily lost. Rams at home. Look out because this is going to be over by the first quarter. Broncos at home. Yeah. Cowboys on the road. Seahawks on the road. Rams at home. Chiefs on the road. Commanders at home. Could be a winnable game.
That could be a game to look out for.
The Eagles at home, the Jets at home, and the Saints on the road. So there's only 2 games. I see the Cardinals.
There's 2 more games. There's 2 more games.
There's 2 more games.
They got the Raiders at home and the Niners at home to end off the season.
Raiders and Niners. So there's 3 games I could see the Cardinals winning, and I'm going to break both of these games down. the Raiders game, they don't have a chance because they have the worst run defense in the NFL, and Ashton Genty is obviously going to fry that team. The Commanders game, I do not trust at all because Jaden Daniels is going to fry this Cardinals team. Any team with a competent quarterback has beaten the Cardinals, and
Yep.
that leaves us to the Jets game. Now, this is going to be a very entertaining game
Yeah.
for who gets the number 1 overall pick, and I actually do have the Cardinals winning that game. I have the Cardinals going 1-16. Chalk it. I don't think they'll get 0-17. It's honestly going to hurt more if they go 1-16 than being 0-17, if I'm being honest, because then, I mean, shoot, you have the honors of being the first team in NFL history to go 0-17, which is an accomplishment, if you want to look at it like that. But winning one game is, yeah, it's not good for the Cardinals, which is what I have them at.
Yep.
They'll beat the Jets, though. I have a good feeling.
Okay. All right. In fourth place for me, I also have the Arizona Cardinals. No shocker there. I mean, I'm also looking at the schedule right now. This is brutal. Like this
Yep.
is brutal. I think whenever there's a Cardinals game and we do our picks for the week, that's the one game we won't argue on because we will both be in agreement that the Cardinals will not win. Now, that Jets game, potentially, if things are looking interesting, who knows? But so you broke down those 3 games. It's great. Other game to look at, Week 18. San Francisco's in town against Arizona. Now, San Francisco, I'm just gonna say potentially they could have a playoff spot locked up. Okay, they could have a playoff spot locked up. They're an injured team, so they're gonna put everyone. They're gonna pull all the starters out. That might be a game that they could win, but I'm not sure. So I'm agreeing with you, Jonah. Cardinals go 1-16. I don't know which game they're gonna win, but they might win one. But this team sucks.
Yep. All right, moving on to the third place team. Now, this is I'm just going to say this. Any of these 3 teams can win the division. And no, the Cardinals can't win the division, so don't make a joke about that. But moving on to third place, I'm going to piss the Seattle fan off. I got Seattle in third place.
Wow.
I think you look at the Seahawks and they have the hardest schedule in the NFL. I think they do, at least. They have one of them, that's for sure. And they're obviously got first in their division, so they have to play the hardest teams. That too, and they lost Clint Kubiak, which was the only reason why their offense was able to fire off 40 points a game. That was the only reason why they're able to beat the Rams on Thursday Night Football, is because they have a brilliant offensive mastermind in Clint Kubiak, and they don't have that anymore. I also think the running game is going to suck. I think that JSN is going to have a more difficult time getting open since the running game is going to suck. And defensively, they're not going to be dominant. They're going to be good, but they're not going to be dominant defensively because I don't know why their defense is going to struggle this year. I just have a feeling their defense is going to be able or not going to be able to perform as what they did last year. At least not in the Super Bowl. They're never having that performance again in the Super Bowl. That was insane on defense. So Seattle is going to be in third place, but I have them going 11-6. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Okay. In third place, in the NFC West, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I have them going 10-7. And you look at the addition at wide receiver. That's the main thing for me. I already said this earlier, but I don't know, man. I don't know. These guys keep getting hurt. I don't know what's going on over there. CMC had a great year last year. Is he going to do it again? He hasn't been able to do 2 years in a row. He hasn't. Like his entire career, he just has not.
I'll be betting on him for fantasy football. I'm going to get him. I'm going to be getting him fantasy this year. It's a good pickup. I don't want to get him good value at 8 or 7.
I'm not going to get him in fantasy football. I'll skip him. I'll get somebody else.
Okay.
I don't know. Hopefully he proves me wrong. But I don't trust the injury situation going on in San Francisco. Now, like I said, Shanahan knows how to win without star players. So they're still going to win some games. And I think they're going to be in a wild card spot. But I have them going 10-7. Uh, Brock Purdy did not have a phenomenal year last year after he got his payday. So I don't know what we're going to see with
Yeah.
that too. He wasn't healthy last year. Mac Jones did most of the heavy lifting for San Francisco last year to get them to in the position that they were. So yeah, for me, San Francisco is going to go 10-7. Not a bad team at all. If this team stays healthy, that's the limit. But I don't think they're going to stay healthy. 10-7, San Francisco.
Yeah. Next up, in second place, I was really thinking about this. I really like the Niners this year. I think that a healthy 49ers team can win a Super Bowl. They've shown that over the past couple of years, but they've never been healthy, which is why I have the Niners coming in second place. I have them going 12-5. My reason is they have the easiest schedule out of the Rams and the Seahawks. I mean, it's not even close comparing the Niners schedule to the Seahawks. It's like 3 games that are easily going to be wins compared to potentially losses for Seattle. And you look at this roster, man, and it's loaded on defense now. It's loaded up, and I mean, if they stay healthy, which I think it's I think it's really unlikely that they get this many injuries again. And if they don't get as many injuries as what they did last year, I think their defense is going to be way better this year, and it's going to be top 10 in football. And McCaffrey, I think, will have another 1,000 season. I think he's figured out how to get healthy here. So, and I also like Brock Purdy too. So the Niners are going to go 12-5. I think that if they can just have their players on the field, which I think they'll have some of them, I don't know about all of them. I think this team could be in Super Bowl conversation as a wild card.
Okay. So for me, second place, I have the Seattle Seahawks going 11-6 as well, but I just have them set now. I definitely think these guys lost a lot in free agency, and they're not going to be as good as they were last year, but they still have uh, a really good coaching staff. You got the Super Bowl experience under belt. So there's that. We've, as of recently, except for the Chiefs kind of stuff they had going on, usually there's a little bit of a dip that happens. We saw it last year with Philly. Uh, we saw it, I don't know, when was the last time we saw it? We saw Tampa Bay with Tom Brady after that. So they've taken some dips at late. But I do think that this team is still going to be a playoff team. The defense is still good. Still good. They're still really great coach defense, which will still make them good. Not as good as last year. The offense is going to take a hit, I think. And Sam Darnold got to lock in with these turnovers because he's got to stop throwing the ball to the other team and just dropping the ball. Which I think can also cause some issues because last year he could have been throwing 4 interceptions and they still would have won by 20 points because of how good that team was. So to me, that's going to be an important thing. Seattle 11-6 takes a little bit of a dip, but still a really good team in the NFC.
Yeah. All right, number 1, I have the Rams. Obviously, the Rams. Everyone's Super Bowl favorites. Have a top 5 quarterback. Have 2 top 10 wide receivers. Have a top 10 running back. Have a 2. Have the best defensive player in football. Another top 5 cornerback. Like every position on this Rams team is either top 5 or top 10 in my opinion. Every position is probably top 10 on this Rams team, maybe except for tight end. So there's really no reason why they shouldn't win the division, because last year they were in conversation for it, but they didn't, and they got the best player in football, are arguably Myles Garrett. So I think this Rams team, I'll say they go 15-2. I think they'll get a couple losses. I think they'll lose to either Seattle or the 49ers. and I think they'll lose one game to either the Bills or the Lions or something. But this team looks unbeatable on paper. So I will say, come playoff time, if they get matched up in a second round game against either the Panthers or the Falcons or any NFC South team, they will struggle because for some reason they don't know how to beat
That
NFC
last
South
year.
teams. They don't know how to beat
That
NFC
last
South
year.
teams. So,
Yeah. Obviously, first place for me, I have Los Angeles Rams. I have them going 14-3. I have a feeling they'll probably drop one to Seattle, potentially one to San Francisco, and like you said, either Detroit or Buffalo in there. But who knows? We saw last year they slipped up in Atlanta last year. One of Jonah's favorite games from last season.
that was awesome.
What a great game that was on Monday night. A lot of
Made Matthew
controversy.
Stafford look like a bum.
A lot of controversy going on in that game, though, I will say. But I feel like the Rams, like you said, they on paper they look unbeatable. I really thought about putting the 16-1, 15-2, something like that. But we haven't really seen a team do that and dominate like that in a long time. I mean, the Chiefs went 15-2 a couple of years ago, but
Yeah.
they shouldn't have been like that. They got lucky. But this team, unlike that Chiefs team, is actually going to dominate games. Due to their defense, Aaron Donald will come back. I'm pretty confident in that. But yeah, this team is really, really good. They have no excuse if they don't win Super Bowl this year. To me, it's like the Dodgers right now. Like, you don't have an excuse. You should win. Now, if we see somehow Denver or Houston just balls out, then maybe. And if it's a close Super Bowl and they lose, that's whatever. That's a conversation for that's a lot of what ifs. But to me right now, you look at the rest of the NFL, you look at the rosters, you compare them all. Los Angeles is a tier above everyone else and should win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing, and that really, this is Matthew Stafford's really only chance to solidify himself in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer at the
Really?
moment. I don't. He's won MVP, and he's only won one Super Bowl. And there's a lot better quarterbacks that are currently in the Hall of Fame than Matthew Stafford. There's at least 10 of them, maybe 15. So I think that Matthew Stafford probably is second ballot right now. But if he wants to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, if he wants to get into that top 10 quarterback conversation in NFL history, he's got to win a Super Bowl.
That's fair.
I don't think
that's fair.
I don't think one Super Bowl and one MVP is going to cut it for being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, even though Drew Brees has similar stats to Stafford, we all know he was a much more impactful player for the Saints than what Stafford is. So, and honestly, the MVP race wasn't great this year with
last year
Drake
it
May.
sucked. It was bad race.
So, if Matthew Stafford can't figure it out, if he can't get at least one more Super Bowl before he retires, it might be 10 to 20 years before we see him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but it's reality, especially with how these Hall of Fame classes are coming up, or the Hall of Fame classes that are coming up. They're really good, in my opinion.
All right, well, that wraps up the NFC West. This was a fun one. I enjoyed doing this one. This was we went for an hour, which is great. We haven't gone this long. Yeah.
There we go.
But potentially some fun content tomorrow. You never know. But we'll be back probably Thursday or Friday, doing our final division, the NFC North, the division everyone's been talking about since last year, since the end of last season. That will be the last stream you see, the last episode you see of us like this. Next week we'll be completely off, no content, nothing pretty much, for probably a week or two as we move into the new dorm rooms and such things like that. But don't worry, we'll be back. We got a bunch of stuff planned. It's gonna be great. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure like, subscribe, Help us get to 200 subscribers because we're getting there. Go follow the Instagram. We got some great stuff out there. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.